All right, let's talk about something in Python that can seem a little tricky at first, but is actually a total game changer for organizing your data. I'm talking about nested dictionaries. We're going to break it all down, make it super simple, so you can start building some really cool organized stuff. Let's dive in.
So, let's just start with a problem that I know you've run into, because every programmer does. You've got all this data, right? And it's all connected, but it's got layers. Like, think about a family tree, or maybe employee records with names, departments, start dates, all that stuff. How do you possibly keep that from becoming a tangled mess in your code?
Well, good news, Python has this awesome built-in tool just for this, the nested dictionary. It's pretty much made for handling exactly this kind of layered or hierarchical data. So let's get into what that actually means.
Okay, when you get right down to it, the idea is so simple. A nested dictionary, it's just a dictionary inside of another dictionary. Yep, that's literally it. But that simple little trick lets you build out all these different levels of organization, which is perfect because, that's how a lot of real-world information works.
And believe me, this structure is super useful. You can see it right here. It's perfect for stuff like family records, employee info. You could even use it for things like configuration settings in an app. Basically, if your data has any kind of natural parent-child relationship, this is your go-to tool.
Okay, so we know what they are, we know why they're awesome, so the next logical step is, how do we actually make one? Let's get our hands dirty. There are basically two ways to go about it, and don't worry, they both get you to the exact same place.
So, check out the left side first. This is the direct method. We just build the whole thing in one go. See? We've got my family, and then right inside those curly braces, we define the dictionaries for child 1 and child 2. It's really short and sweet. Now, look to the right. This is what I'd call the step-by-step way. First, we make the individual dictionaries child 1 and child 2, and then we assemble them into the main My Family dictionary. This way can be a lot easier to read, especially when things start to get more complicated.
And here's the most important thing to remember. There's no right way here. One isn't better than the other. They both create the exact same thing. Seriously, the best one for you is just whichever one makes your code easier to read. It's all about what makes sense to you and your team.
All right, we've built our nested dictionary. Awesome. All our data is tucked away nicely inside. But now what? How do we get stuff out? Like, what if I just want to know the name of one of the kids? How do we do that?
Getting the data out is actually a really logical process. The best way to think about it is like clicking through folders on your computer, right? First, you pick the main folder, that's your outer key. In our case, let's say it's child 2. Then, inside that folder, you pick the file you want. That's your inner key, like name. And then, you just put them together using brackets.
And here's what that looks like in actual code. You start with My Family. The first set of brackets, child 2, basically tells Python, hey, go into that child 2 dictionary. Then right after it, the second set of brackets, name, says, okay, now that you're in there, grab me the value for the name key. And boom, it spits out exactly what we were looking for, the name Tobias.
Okay, so grabbing one specific thing is great, and we've got that down. But what if you want to see everything? What if you wanted to, say, print out the details for every single child in the family? Well, for that, we're going to need loops. So to work our way through the whole thing, we're actually going to use a loop inside of another loop. We'll start with the outer one. Take a look at this line of code. We're using .items on our My Family dictionary. Now what that does is it lets us grab both the key and the value for each item. So on the first pass, the variable x will be child 1, and the variable object will be that entire inner dictionary for child 1. Okay, so now that we've grabbed one child's data with our outer loop, we need to go through their details, right? That's where the inner loop comes in. Inside that first loop, we add another one for y and obj. This one goes through the keys of that inner dictionary we saved as ob. So y will become name and then year. And then we can just print out the key, y, and its value, which we grab with obj_y. See how that works? The nested loops let us visit every single piece of data, level by level. And just like that, you've put all the pieces together. You can create them, you can pinpoint specific data, and now you can loop through the whole structure. You've just unlocked a seriously powerful new tool for handling complex data in your code. That's a huge step.
You know, it's true what the source material says. They really do take some getting used to. It might feel a little weird at first, but honestly, it's like any new tool, right? Once you get the hang of it and really understand it, it becomes one of those go-to things in your programming toolkit that you'll use all the time.
So let's do a quick recap of the big takeaways. First, you can create them in one go or step by step, whatever's clearer for you. Second, to access data, you just chain those keys together with brackets. And third, to go through everything, you use nested loops with dot items. Create access loop. Got it?
And that's really the whole shebang. The real magic, of course, happens when you start using this yourself. So now it's over to you. I want you to think about it. What kind of complex, real-world data are you going to model with this new superpower?